What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing? Let me just do something real quick here. Wait, did I do that right? Okay. All right. So, hi, everybody. It's me, April, with astrolada.com, and I'm doing your weekly forecast and / coffee talk. So, I'm going to go over the astrology for the week and let you guys know what's going on. This is for May 31st through June 7th of 2019 that I am covering. So I'll let you guys know what the energy is like in the air for all of us. And I will do a horoscope for the new moon in Gemini for all the signs. So, hey to everybody in the chat, what's going on? You know what, let me move my microphone, make sure that it's in a place where you guys can hear me. Hi from Australia, hi from New Zealand, hi from Dubai. Well, good morning to all you guys, because I know it's morning over there. So, okay. Let me make sure the lighting and stuff is good. Ooh, I look kind of crazy, but whatever. So, all right, let's get started. What is the weekly horoscope for this week? For the actually, it's for the first week of June. Yeah, it's the first week of June that I'm covering. So, happy June. Jeez, I'm tripping out because that means the year is already almost halfway over. So, Scorpionic Tarot, you're from California. Oh, so, excuse me. So you're on my time. So yeah, India, Philippines. Oh my gosh, I appreciate you guys all being here. Yeah, this year it did fly very quickly, very fast. So we're already halfway done with it by being in the first week of June. So yeah, what's going on the first week of June then for everybody? Oh, and as far as the celebrity stuff, you know what? Let me know, you guys. Let me know in the chat if you guys have any suggestions of maybe like a celebrity chart that I can look at, because I don't have one. I don't have one ready. I don't have one that I was able to like find anybody interesting with an interesting headline in time. So if you guys have any suggestions, then let me know. Maybe I can just pull up their chart live and see what's going on. But I'm going to try to make this a little shorter than usual. So let's see. We have Venus. Okay, so Venus is still making some aspects to Pluto and Saturn. Well, Venus was exactly trine Saturn. And I talked more about this in depth last week. But Venus trine Saturn in an earth sign, they're both in earth signs. So that's very grounding. That's very like reality check. Now that we are in this energy, what I'll tell you is, yeah, it did bring some feelings of fear and doubt. There was some feelings of fear and doubt when it comes to love and money that are active. This aspect is still active. Venus trine Saturn, and now Venus is coming into a trine aspect with Pluto on the 2nd. So trines are good. Okay, so yeah, trines are good aspects, positive, woohoo, yeah, trine, but still, it's still Pluto and Saturn. They're kind of brutal planets, making an aspect to Venus, bringing energy to Venus. And Venus doesn't really feel comfortable, like, talking to Saturn and Pluto. Venus's energy is very, it's supposed to be very light and loving and enjoyable, but then Saturn and Pluto are kind of bullyish. They're like, with their arms folded like this, and she's like, hey guys, so what are we doing to work together this week? Yeah, and they're like, oh well, we're here to bring some reality, we're here to bring some seriousness. And Venus is just like, okay, I guess. Like, I really want I'm in Taurus right now. I want everybody to enjoy everything to the fullest that I rule. But yeah, so I guess we can do some serious stuff. So it can bring still some feelings of not, I don't know. The good thing that it can bring is seeing the reality of situations and facing it in ways that are not super harsh as they could be under normal conditions of Saturn and Pluto conversing, if you will, with any other planetary energies. It's less harsh. I've noticed that. So when it comes to like money, it's like, okay, this is what I have to do. This is what has to be done. And there's no getting around it. And I noticed when it comes to matters of love too, there's been some realizations about that. Like, you know what? Yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to get into all that love stuff, but too much. But yeah, it's just like, okay, reality checks are here. This, because we are under the influence of a mutable energy too, like a mutable T square, because we still have Mercury, Jupiter, and Neptune in a T square with one another. And I talked about this in depth last week too. If you guys missed it, I'm sorry, but it can bring feelings of bliss, but they can be kind of false, and then this grounded earth energy with Venus, Saturn, and Pluto is like, hold on, wait a second, there are some things that you still have to think about. So that's what's been going on. That's like kind of the energy in the air right now, and it does continue throughout the weekend and the first couple days of June. So Venus comes into an exact trine with Pluto on the 2nd. So this is intensity. It's not a harsh, jarring intensity, but it's still intensity, and it can bring transformations when it comes to love and money, like burning away old in order to welcome in new. And take that however you will, wherever these signs are at in your chart, like Taurus and Capricorn is where you will feel this the most, of course. So Venus trine Pluto is, yeah, like, I had like a little revelation today. Oh my gosh, I just noticed my eyes look super low. That's because I have this freaking light on. I mean, yeah, it's late, but I'm a night owl these days anyway. But like this light is like super bright. That's why my eyes look like that. So I don't want to hear anybody say, "Oh my God, are you okay?" Yes, I'm fine. My eyes are very sensitive to bright light, but this is kind of like my little setup at the moment. I think I could like back it up a little. I don't know, or turn it down a little bit or something. Anyway, I'll just deal with it. Okay, so yeah, Venus and Pluto, it can be bringing transformations with love or money, maybe old ways of handling money and finances, or looking at situations with money or love, like with how you value them, how you value your finances, the material world, how you value a person in love, even maybe there's some changes that happen with that, with this Venus trine Pluto. Venus trine Pluto is like sending power to Venus. So we may feel more powerful when it comes to love or money with going after what we want, because Venus and Taurus is very chill. It's very chill, very subtle. I have Venus and Taurus in my natal chart. And it's not the most go-getter Venus. It's not the Venus that wants to just go after what it wants and grabs it. This is double Venus energy because Venus rules the sign of Taurus. So in Taurus, she wants to just chill out. She wants to be receptive. She wants what comes to her to come to her, like what's meant for her to come to her. Like that's how Venus and Taurus can act. But, Pluto sends this aspect that's like, you know what I want, I need to really get up off my buttocks and go get it. I really need to do that. What I've been feeling as a native Venus in Taurus with this energy activating that part of my chart is definitely that is if I want something, I'm going to have to go after it, and go after it with passion and no fear, even though Pluto's energy can sometimes cause fear, but the trine aspect is not so much that. It's like, you know what? Oh my God, this light. Woo! It's like, you know what? What I was also feeling today was like something about burning away old feelings. um, old feelings for a person, because Venus can deal with love. I did feel that theme very heavily, and it is going to continue to build as the closer that Venus gets to Pluto. There is some things about, just old feelings being like, you know what, um, whatever, you got to burn away the old, pretty much. And plus, we're leading up to a new moon, which is the next thing I was going to talk about in Gemini. This new moon is at 12 degrees of Gemini, and it is still making a square to Neptune and an opposition to Jupiter. So here's more mutable T square. Okay, let me just tell you guys something about the month of June overall. Okay, Astro PSA. The month of June is full of mutable squares and oppositions that are going to cause a lot of push pull energy, finicky, flaky, flighty, fickle, all of those words. The month of June is full of that. It's not just a completely 100% that, because of course, everything else moves and shifts too. There will still be like um, Mars in Cancer, Mercury in Cancer, and they'll be making aspects to Pluto and Saturn. So there's still some other energies in the air, but we've got the Sun in Gemini, we've got Mercury in Gemini, then we're going to have Venus in Gemini, and then we still have Jupiter and Neptune in their signs that they rule, which are mutable. So we're going to have like 3 mutable signs very heavily in the air, not interacting with each other in the best way. And Jupiter and Neptune are going to come back to squaring each other exactly in the month of June. So there's a lot of that. There's a lot of, well, I don't know, it could be this, it could be that, or I feel this one day and the next day the wind blew a different way, so I changed my mind, and then I changed my mind again. There's a lot of that in the month of June. So this new moon in Gemini is kicking that off, actually. And then we have a full moon in Sag later in the month. Same thing. It's going to be making the same aspects, square to Neptune in opposition to Jupiter. So with that being said, yes, the new moon is still going to bring some new things. It's still going to be a good time to set your intentions out there for new and exciting things in life. But the square and the opposition to those very dreamer, idealistic planets that are not always so in touch with reality hold a warning within this new moon that whatever you want to go after, you have to make sure that it's real, that it's realistically attainable. But at the same time, it's like you got to find a balance between that and allowing yourself the experience. Now, because all 3 of those mutable signs are about the experience of life with no holds barred. Is that the term? I suck at terms, those little sayings, but I still try. No holds barred, right? That's what it is. The experience of life. Like Gemini is a very curious energy. And when they see what's that shiny thing over there, they go and they check it out, right? Because they're curious about it. And Neptune is about the experience of like bliss and nirvana in life and what it's like to just float and not have to worry about anything, not have to worry about anything practical holding you down from floating and just enjoying the float, right? And that can mean with enjoying art or music, or for some people, they are super Neptunian in nature, and that's why they do drugs or drink a lot, is because they want to be in that state of bliss. But that's still a really cool experience that once they come back down to earth, I don't condone, of course, alcohol and drugs, but I'm talking about anything that can give you that Neptunian feeling. Once you come back down to earth to live and tell about it, you're like, wow, that was so cool. I experienced that. Jupiter is kind of similar. It's about the experience that's very exciting and fiery. Like, yeah, I went after this and I believed in it and I went out there and I got it and I grabbed it and I brought it back to me and now it's mine. Like, that's Jupiter. Jupiter does that. Opportunities come up and Jupiter is like, yeah, I'm going to go take it. I just have full faith and belief that that's opportunities for me, right? So those planets all rule, like the mutable signs. Those mutable signs are all about that. Virgo is mutable too, but it's Earth, so it's more cautious. But the three that are in the air with this new moon and that kicks off the month of June's energy, leaves its imprint there and continues through the whole month, is very much about the experience, like experiences in life, allowing yourself to experience without always thinking of, oh, I don't know if I should because like while we still have Venus aspecting Pluto and Saturn, we will still give things a second thought, in the grounded earth signs. But once we get past that, especially once like the month progresses and we get Venus and Gemini, it's going to be making those aspects to those planets too. And it's going to be more about like, yeah, I really just want to experience life and not worry about tomorrow, not worry about following rules, not worry about bad things that can happen. It's just, I want to do what I want to do. But there can still be like indecisiveness because those mutable signs can be very like wishy-washy, So with the new moon in Gemini, there's newness that's being brought to us, but we still need to find that good balance once again between the experience, like, oh, I just want to experience this and going after it, and also like seeing reality, seeing things for what they really are and seeing the consequences of things before we go after something new. So because of that, yeah, there is going to be like back and forth with stuff. Gemini in itself could be very back and forth, very back and forth energy anyway. So yeah, but there's a new moon. I will give you guys a horoscope for the new moon. So yeah. Okay. Now and then on the 4th, Mercury enters the sign of Cancer. So Mercury in Cancer, Mercury's only going to be in Cancer for a couple weeks. So from the 4th of June until the 26th of June. And Mercury in Cancer. So this is what we're talking about, thinking, discussing, it's communication and thoughts and all that. So while it's in Cancer, it's going to be all about family life, personal life, your emotions, and yeah, just a lot of more like emotional thinking and not so much logical is Mercury in Cancer. So Mercury in Cancer, this is speaking in more of a sweet and mellow manner, speaking more in that way. People may be wanting to talk more about their family, tell stories about their past, bring up old photos, like a lot of times on social media, we do Flashback Friday or Throwback Thursday, and we'll post an old photo and maybe we'll have like a story to tell behind it. Mercury in Cancer will bring out more of that as a collective of people wanting to share like their childhood stories, especially any memories of the past that they have of their family. And people will be wanting to speak in a more personal way, one-on-one personal, rather than like, we'll still have Gemini, the sun in Gemini, which does want to talk more surface level into everybody and anybody. But Mercury in Cancer will kind of like tone that down a little bit to where we will still want to have some more personal conversations with people, not just like, hey, did you see that sports game? Oh, the weather. Yeah. And then skip off. It's like, no, how are you doing? How are you feeling? While Mercury's in Cancer, you guys, do me a favor, especially to Cancer people that you know. Ask the question, how are you doing? But don't do it in the surface level way. Like, oh, how are you? Oh, yeah. And then run off. No. Ask people really, how are you? How have you been? How's life going? And really pay attention to them and to what they have to say and listen and be, and what's the word? Like have empathy for them. That's the way that Mercury in Cancer speaks, and thinks, has concern for people and their well-being. And people will want to hear that from others. Like, oh, I want them to ask me how I'm doing, not just like, what are you doing right now? Like, I want them to ask me, how am I? So I can tell them how I feel. And, so Yeah, Mercury in Cancer, it operates like that. And yeah, so sharing memories, sharing photos. Cancer energy is really into mementos, not just like talking about memories, but like material things that they save, that we all save, you know, like a little memory box that has baby's first shoes and stuff like that in it. You know, Mercury in Cancer is a time to like really get into sharing stuff like that and talking about it. And yeah, it is much more sensitive. It can take things very personally. Mercury and Cancer energy can. So don't be surprised if especially Cancers are like taking things very, very personally when they're not even about them, because Cancer energy is about subliminals and picking up on nonverbal cues from people and the change in your tone and stuff like that. So it's very sensitive. So a lot of times Mercury in Cancer or Cancerian energy can mistake, you know, any changes like that are very subtle for something much bigger than it really is. So even as a collective, while Mercury's in Cancer, we may have the tendency to do that. So just keep that in mind, that like we're all going to be a little more sensitive with our thinking and our communication. So yeah, that's pretty much what's going on this week, you guys. The Venus trine Pluto, the new on the 2nd, new moon on the 3rd, and then Mercury in Cancer. It enters Cancer on the 4th and stays there for just a couple of weeks. So let me see. Did you guys have any like celeb chart suggestions? Let me see if anybody said anything on that. I don't see anything, but yeah, I do have to keep this short due to schedule stuff. So if I don't get to a celebrity chart tonight, don't be mad at me, you guys. I'm still gonna give you a horoscope for like your horoscope. You know what I'm saying? So I'm doing that for the new moon for you guys. Okay, so new moon in Gemini on the 3rd of June. I'll go through all the signs and let you guys know how it's going to affect everybody. Lorna said Denzel Washington. Now is Denzel like in the news right now? Does he have anything in particular going on, or you're just curious about his chart? Because I haven't really been up to date on all that stuff as usual. Okay. Yeah. So let me know, Lorna. Thank you for the suggestion. I can't even talk. Thanks for the suggestion. So, okay. New moon in Gemini for the signs. So for Aries people, the new moon in Gemini is in your 3rd house. So it's affecting all of your, yeah, it's affecting your mental houses, the 3rd, the 9th, and the 12th, you know. So anyway, but the new moon in the 3rd house for Aries people, you guys can be 3rd house. Yes, it's communication and learning new skills, but in the real world, I find that the 3rd house is also like how you travel around. That could be by car, bus, public transportation of some sort. Do you ride a scooter? Do you ride a bike? Do you walk? So there's some newness that can be brought to that, like how you travel. And for a lot of people, especially I live in America, everybody drives for the most part. Everybody has a car. Um, so yeah, I know who Denzel Washington is. So yeah. But anyway, 3rd house can mean your vehicle, like things that need to be fixed on your vehicle. You get a new vehicle. There's some newness in the air. So yeah, maybe there's some newness with you changing up the way that you get around every day, Aries people. And yeah, communication, like the devices you use to communicate. I notice a lot of times when people have stuff happening in their 3rd house, they get new laptops, they get new smartwatches, phones, any little gadgets that are used to communicate with one another, is 3rd house stuff too. So some Aries people may be getting some new stuff like that. You may maybe discover like a new skill that you wanted to take up, like maybe learn how to play guitar, learn a different language, or, you know, learn some sort of like cooking classes, or I don't know, like that's the 3rd house, is like little classes and little skills that you can learn. So maybe some Aries people are wanting to do that, you know. So Yeah, but that's the new moon for you guys. It's newness brought to you guys in some sort of way. Maybe out of curiosity for things. You're just like, you know what? I'm just gonna go get it. Yeah. So, yeah, that's for Aries people. So for Taurus, sun, moon, or rising, the new moon in Gemini is in your second house. So this is money. This is how you earn your money. This is the Taurus territory. So for Taurus, is there could be a new way that you're trying to earn money. Maybe some of you guys get a new job. Maybe you're searching for a new job, a new opportunity with how to make more money. Yeah, it's funny. I'm a Taurus sun, and that's exactly what I've been doing is coming up with some ideas. And also, I do other types of work besides astrology. So I have been applying for more positions with those types of work with different companies, trying to, have multiple avenues. So yeah, that second house energy right there is your own efforts, your work, which is how you get your money. And it can be a new way to handle your money too, to budget your money. Also, second house is possessions, like material things. So some of you guys could be accumulating a new, like, large item that you have to have a financial obligation to, like maybe pay payments on. I have seen and experienced major developments in the second house, meaning you take on a responsibility that's financial, like you get a new car, right? But it's got payments. You finance something, that can start off like in the second house too, with a new moon there, like a new material thing, like get a laptop, but you have to finance it. So dealing with the finance part of it, like the finance companies, like if it's a loan especially, is more like eighth house, then it turns into that. But like getting it and getting the obligation going and started could be a new moon in your second house. But there's something new with money, Taurus. So more than likely, it's you guys trying to figure out a way to make more money or better money, or there's something with your material world that's definitely going to change for Tauruses. So yeah. So next up is Gemini. If you're a Gemini rising, sun, or moon, the new moon in Gemini is in your sign. So pretty much anything new can be brought to you. Anything new, anything that you want in life that is new, especially if your birthday is on or around the 3rd. Ooh, that reminds me, I do have a good friend and her birthday is June 3rd. So I'm going to have to check on her and see, hey, what's going on? What's going on in your world, sis? Let me see what that solar return like. Let me see that solar return, what you're working with. So yeah, that means for the whole next year, if your birthday is on or around the 3rd of June, you will have like a definite year of new beginnings, like big new beginnings. You have new beginnings every year with your solar return. But if you have a new moon, it's bigger than that. So yeah, but the new moon for Geminis, it's in your sign. So some of you guys may be wanting to do some stuff to change up your appearance. That can mean physically your appearance, vanity wise. It can mean just how you appear to others, your first impression you give to others. You want to change something to do with that, something to do with your identity. Sometimes when there's a new moon in someone's first house, they do something with their name, like they change their name. Maybe even if you just got divorced, you need to change your last name back. People do stuff like that with a new moon in their first house. There could be maybe like you want a new style, you want to change your wardrobe. You're like, I'm tired of rocking the same old stuff. I think I'm going to totally switch up my style. And so when people see me and what I'm wearing, that's what it's going to be. So yeah, so Gemini, it's your new moon. So anything new and exciting that you would like to have happen or to be new in your life, then you know what? That could be something that you do. Change something with your appearance. Now, I would warn, because of the opposition to Jupiter and square to Neptune for Gemini people, maybe hold off on doing anything super major like plastic surgery or anything like that, because you could get in over your head with what it is that you want. You may want certain things right now, but then maybe later when those energy's clear, you'll be like, oh wait, maybe I shouldn't have gone this big with this body part, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? However it applies to you. But yeah, switching things up with your looks. A lot of Geminis like to do that anyway. So this new moon is definitely one where you will feel like doing just that. So, oh hey Olche, I know you always have a different name. You always have a different name. So I'm always like, oh, okay. Good thing you introduced yourself so I can say hello. All right, so next up is Cancer. So if you're Cancer rising, Cancer sun, or Cancer moon, the new moon in Gemini is in your 12th house, and this is in a very emotional part of your chart, Cancer. And I know Cancers are like gonna put that little emoji, making that face, like why me? Because you're already an emotional water sign, and this is happening in an emotional water house, and it involves your ruling luminary, which is the moon. So yes, it is a very emotional one for Cancer, of releasing something or some things from the past, or some people from the past. This is about completing cycles. You know, when you have a new moon in your 12th house, it's clearing some things out, and that way you can start a new cycle, especially when we have a new moon in Cancer next month, which will actually be an eclipse. You want to clear out some old crap before it's really truly like Cancer season kicking in, you know? So I could be letting go of anything, anyone. You know, maybe it's a relationship, maybe it's like some habits, some addictions, some, I don't know. There, it could be anything that you guys want to get rid of, Cancer. New moon in the 12th house can also bring some spiritual enlightenment. Now, I know that there is a square and an opposition from Neptune and Jupiter, and both of those planets can rule some things to do with like religious beliefs, or just beliefs in general, spiritual beliefs. So, this is a new moon to where Cancer people, you guys can be introduced to something new when it comes to your spiritual beliefs. 12th house does deal with spirituality, the spirit realm, and being in touch with that side. So maybe there's some doors that are open for Cancers to be more in tune with that, you know, more in tune with that part of yourself that can just chill and relax and not worry about anyone or anything else except you, yourself, and you. You know what I'm saying? Maybe bringing in more like spiritual practices into your, incorporating them into your days. That could be something that Cancers are dealing with. But yeah, it could be just wrapping up some old cycle of any cycle of anywhere in your life. That can mean with a job, a person, a relationship, anything. And preparing for new for Cancer season. Okay, so next up is Leo. So if you're a Leo rising, Leo sun, Leo moon, then the new moon in Gemini is in your 11th house. So the 11th house is your groups of people. It is your people. It's your friends. It is the people that you network with in in a work setting too. You know, like if you work for a specific company or corporation, and there's a lot of people there, the 11th house can be those people that you associate with all the time, and you guys have like that in common. Now, this is a new moon in the 11th, so something to do with your friendships can change. Maybe you rid yourself of some old groups of people that you're like, you know what, I can't hang with them anymore. Like this, they don't really resonate with me as far as like where I'm at in my life now. And I used to hang with these people all the time. And I think it's about time that I move on, you know? Maybe you do discover like a new group of people or a network or an association that resonate with you more, and you start hanging out with them. You start really, you know, yeah, like you start really kicking it with them and associating with them, and you guys are now like all together under the same interest or cause or whatever. um but yeah, so having a new moon in the 11th house, so for some people, the 11th house, it rules the internet and social media. So some people release projects when they have new moons in their 11th house because it's reaching the masses, you know? So yeah, that's what it is for Leo people. You were thinking about how you can use this in your nonprofit campaign. So Lorna, Does that mean you're a Leo? Okay, yeah. So campaigns like that, reaching the masses in some sort of way, and especially for a nonprofit, yeah, that's that a totally 11th house humanitarian stuff. So some Leos may be doing just that, releasing new stuff or figuring out, ways to reach others first for whatever it is that you do. But yeah, it could be friendships, a new beginning within a friendship with one person or a group of people. Normally, 11th house is groups, though. So for Virgo, if you're a Virgo rising, Virgo sun, or Virgo moon, um, the new moon in Gemini is in your 10th house, which is your career, your title, your status, and what you do for a living. So for a lot of Virgos, this can be a new job, a new career, a new chapter within your existing job or career. This can mean a promotion. This can even mean stepping down from something within career for some Virgo people. And you step down for good reason. Maybe it's because number one, maybe the career doesn't really resonate with you anymore. You want to change direction, change titles. Or number two, maybe you make a change because you step down from something, but in order to grow somewhere else where you can climb the ladder, which is very 10th house, is climbing the ladder of success. Like it may take a while to get to a certain high point in your career, but you decide to take that route anyway because, in the end, for longevity, it'll be a lot better for you. Yeah, someone said, "Oh, your girlfriend's a Virgo." Oh, and someone said a Virgo and your job is changing. Yeah. So, yeah, with the new moon, you guys can have some sort of job change, some sort of new opportunity. For some of you guys, I do know at least one Virgo friend of mine that has been looking for a job for a minute. So I'm hoping that that new moon is going to bring, a new job for them, a new career. You just found out yesterday your jobs are not going forward. Aw, hopefully your girlfriend's job changes. Yeah, hopefully so. Sometimes you guys, if I say, oh, it could be a new job, and if it's a situation that is not one like that you would like to happen, um, it's still in divine timing. If it's along with the new moon or the full moon that something happens like that to where the job is not moving forward, that means that it is divine timing. Your time there is up, no, whether you like it or not. And there is something better for you. There is a new chapter that you have to start somewhere else. So you have to think of it that way. But best of luck to you guys if you're a Virgo and like it's not the best situation with you changing jobs. I'm sure there's still something better, But yeah, definitely career change with Virgo people. And like I said, it could be an existing career position, like maybe there's something that changes. You get more recognition for something, perhaps. So next up is Libra. If you're a Libra rising, Libra sun, or Libra moon, the new moon in Gemini is in your 9th house, and that deals with your perspective on things, like how if you're able to be optimistic and see life from a really like a higher point of view, from the big picture point of view. That is the 9th house. So there could be something that happens that changes your perspective, Libra, like, oh, aha, like light bulb moments that make you think, you know what? I never saw things this way, but I see them this way now. There could be something like that that goes on for you. And yeah, the 9th house is traditionally travel and education. So some of you guys can be starting something new with that, maybe signing up for summer school. A lot of people just graduated, maybe signing up for more classes in the fall for a certain program that you're working on, or starting school altogether. So it could be something to do with that. Maybe there's a new travel opportunity for some of you Libras. And maybe it'll put you in a different mindset to travel if you do plan on taking a trip, to where you see the world is yours. That's the 9th house. The world belongs to you. And you're a citizen of this whole entire planet. So you're free to roam. You know what I'm saying? 9th house energy can deal with that. So maybe there's something along those lines. You're working on a new path, 2 hours north. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, so a proposal with writing, yeah, you know what? The ninth house can sometimes mean writing books, like publications is the ninth house too. So yeah, some of you guys can be releasing something like that under the new moon as well if you're a Libra. But yeah, or taking up some sort of opportunity. The ninth house is opportunity overall, like in general. So you could be looking for, or you could have some opportunity come up for you to especially learn something new that can enhance like your career. So yeah. All right. Okay, so next up is Scorpio. So if you're a Scorpio rising, a Scorpio sun, or Scorpio moon, uh, what's the new moon in Gemini doing for us, Scorpios? It's in our 8th house, which is the Scorpio house. So there's some new beginnings with Scorpio things. What does that mean? Well, first of all, the 8th house, yes, it's traditionally transformation and rebirth. So there could be some stuff there. Look, the 8th house is also intimate partnerships. So anybody that you share yourself with in that way is the 8th house. And there could be a new beginning there. Maybe you, I don't know, if you're a single Scorpio, maybe you find a new partner, you know, that you feel like you can let your guard down with finally. There could be a new beginning to where you allow yourself to have a more intimate relationship in some sort of way. There could be a new beginning with finances. 8th house is if you share your finances with anyone, that's 8th house. That can even mean you are in a house together with different people and you guys all pay rent and bills, even if they're not your spouse or your partner per se, they're just roommates. That's still 8th house, shared resources, shared income. So there's a new beginning with that. Also, the 8th house can be residual income, passive income. So some Scorpios may be finding ways to incorporate more of that into their lives, into their you know, like their personal lives. The 8th house is money that you receive from the government, from, you know, settlements and things like that. So you guys can be having a new beginning with that. But this is making aspects to, it's making an opposition to Jupiter in your 2nd house and also a square to Neptune. What I've noticed as a Scorpio rising with that T square going on is, yeah, some losses because Mercury rules your 8th house and then Jupiter rules your 2nd house and they're in those houses. And then there's the Neptune aspect, which Neptune can dissolve things. So there could be, it could be that some Scorpios have been experiencing like a dissolving of some of their finances, and it's just like it feels like it's out of your control, right? But with a new moon in the 8th, there could be a new beginning there, like, okay, here's a new way that I can pay back some debts, or, you know, make some money in a different type of way, or get some sort of financial help and support from either like some other resource or other people, you know. So yeah, that's what it is for Scorpios. So good luck to my fellow Scorps. Okay, so Sagittarius, rising sun or moon. The new moon in Gemini is in your 7th house, which is relationships. So some of you guys have a new beginning within an existing relationship, taking things to the next level in some sort of way. Maybe engagement, maybe commitment, something. For some people, it could be a breakup. You know, I'm just being honest, just being straight up, because a new moon can wipe out something old in order for the new to be able to grow. So for some of you guys, it's getting rid of an old relationship. Maybe there's still remnants of it left within your energy field or your mind or your household. Like, you still have items that remind you of that relationship or pictures in your phone. Like, it's wiping that stuff out because you that person doesn't belong in your life anymore, and maybe you need to finally just get rid of it, get rid of them for good, because maybe you need to experience something new with someone else. So for some people, it can be breakups and ridding of an old relationship in order for new. Maybe some of you guys do start a new relationship and open yourselves up to that. There's a lot of relationship energy in the month of June in the air for Sagittarius people. I deal with a couple of Sagittarians, so I'm hoping, crossing my fingers, that some of them will actually allow themselves to experience new things because they really need to. But yeah, so it's just newness within relationships. And for some of you guys, yeah, it could mean that you meet somebody new or you start up something new with somebody. It could be that maybe you don't necessarily, this isn't a guarantee that you'll get a new partner. This is, it can be that like there's a new perspective about relationships that you have. But there's that square to Neptune in opposition to Jupiter, and you guys can tend to like jump and fly and go wee about stuff a lot. So don't get too in over your head. Allow yourself the experience, of course. You are the sign of like life experiences, you know? So that's what you're meant to do, of course. But just, it's just like the square in opposition to those dreamer planets are like, don't overdo it with dreaming and not seeing, not letting your feet still touch the ground, you know, but still like jump up a little bit, have a little fun. All right. With relationships, Sagittarius. So good luck to you guys. Next up is Capricorn. So if you're a Cappy rising, sun, or moon, the new moon in Gemini is in your 6th house, which is work and health. Okay. So Capricorns can also be getting a new job. All the earth signs, there's a lot of job energy, career energy in the month of June, and this new moon kicks it off. So yeah, for some Cappies, maybe it's like, you know, it could be for you a new position at your existing job, or oh, okay. So Oche says, Cap rising, starting a new side to your job on Monday. Hey, so that's like right along with the new moon. That's like on the day of it. So divine timing. There you go. There you go. So yeah, within an existing job, you could be having some changes, or maybe you leave a job, maybe you quit. For some people, maybe you're released from a job and it's not your choice. But remember, if it goes along with the lunar cycle, it's divine timing. You just got to take it as that. You know what I'm saying? Know that there's better out there for you. It's being cleared away for a reason, for a divine reason. So, but yeah, some Cappies could be having a new job, maybe a promotion, maybe a new schedule. You know what? I know a Cappy rising who said that they're going to have a schedule change again. Oh my God. With this, along with this new moon, their schedule's going to change again. So it's like, okay, I guess that's totally having Gemini in the 6th house, right? Like schedule is 6th house. Gemini is ever changing, never staying the same. So yeah, for some of you guys, it's just your schedule, your routine. You're going to have to switch it up. Now with this being health, maybe some Cappies are getting rid of an old, like a habit that you've had for a long time, or an addiction. Some of you guys could be starting a new health regimen, changing up your health regimen to like incorporate something new and different into it. So that's what's going on for Cappies. And then for Aquarius, if you're an Aquarius rising, sun, or moon, the new moon in Gemini is in your 5th house, which is dating, and it's also children. You know, if you have kids or you want them, your relationships with your children. 5th house is what makes your heart happy. So your own hobbies, your own personal enjoyment doesn't always have to be booed up with somebody romantic. Okay. It can be just, hey, I really have a talent in blah, 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 and it makes me happy to do it. So that's the 5th house too. So for Aquarius is, yeah, new moon there. Well, first of all, with all the romantic stuff, yes, you guys can have maybe the clearing out of an old romantic association with someone in order to allow for new. Maybe you have a relationship and it's solid. A new moon in the 5th house could be that you want more romance. You want a new spark in that relationship. So, you know, Lorna says, I am in love. Yes. So it could be like those lovey-dovey honeymoon feelings. you either want that new with somebody else, or if you're with someone already, maybe you want to spark that back up and you figure out new ways to do that, you know? And fifth house could be like something new with a hobby, like gaining a new hobby too. Like, you know what? I've always thought it was interesting and been intrigued by playing the piano. So I think I'm going to take up playing the piano and, maybe actually be good at it. So it could be that. It could be some Aquarians, new moon in the fifth, classic, like, oh, guess what? I'm pregnant, or I just gave birth. But not, it depends on the rest of your chart though, but still. Um, but a new moon in the fifth can also be like a creative project that you start or that you release. You release a creative project that maybe you've been working on. A lot of Aquarians are like super creative people, genius ideas. New moon in the fifth. I'm trying to think. I know a lot of Aquarius rising. So what's going on with them that I can give it a real life example? Well, a new moon in the light, a new beginning in the lives of your children. I do have an Aquarius rising friend who they want to move across the country to a different coast, the opposite coast, different state, and that would affect the lives of their children. So they would be taking their children across the country, and that is a huge life change. So yeah, that could be a new beginning in the lives of the children, and dealing with children, dealing with the children's other parents is also, that could be included in there too. But yeah, that's what it is for Aquarians. So I hope it's like some good stuff, some fun stuff, romantic stuff. So for Pisces, new moon in your fourth house, Pisces rising, sun, or moon. Some of you guys could be moving. There's a couple of YouTubers that are sisters they're twins that I love watching. And they're double Pisces, sun and moon in Pisces. And I think that's why I relate to them, because I'm also a Pisces moon. But they just announced that they're moving again. And you know what? Last year, when there was a new moon in Pisces, they were moving. They moved to this house that they're in. But now they're taking it a step even more further and moving again to like a better house and a bigger city and everything. So yeah, that's the new moon for Pisces in the fourth. It could be something to do with moving, finding a different place of living, maybe a new beginning within your family, within family relationships. For some people, even though I associate sixth house energy with dealing with pets and animals and 12th, um, the fourth house is who's your family, who's in your home, who's in your household. And sometimes a new moon in the fourth could be bringing in a new pet into the household. Pets are family too, right? At least, I don't know, to Pisces people especially, like your animals, your pets are like your babies. Pisces and Virgo are very much like that about their animals. They become family. Other signs have their thing too, but those are traditionally associated with animals and pets. So yeah, maybe some of you guys are bringing in a new pet into the family, or there's a new family member one way or another, whether it's an animal or a human, but it could be some new developments within your living situation, whether that's moving or you're staying where you're at, but there's something that's going to change with who's in the house or what you guys do around the house, perhaps, or the security of the home. Maybe there's something new with that that comes up for Pisces people. Or making a plan to move and relocate. Maybe it's not always like the action immediately, but it's the plan to do that comes to mind with a new moon, because the new moon is the sun and moon, and they're luminaries. They're illuminating something, shedding light upon something. So they're shedding light upon that fourth house of where you live and family. So yeah, for Pisces people, that's why I say it could be something that's light shed upon. Like, I'm a Pisces moon, right? And the moon rules your home too. And there's a new moon in the fourth house of my moon. So that's like double the home energy. And that's what I've been feeling like. It's like whether you question whether or not you're comfortable in your living situation when you have fourth house stuff going on. So as a Pisces moon, I definitely have been questioning that, starting with today, because new moon energy, it's like even the days before, there can be things brought up that the new moon is supposed to illuminate or highlight. So yeah, I've been thinking, like, I was like, wow, you know what? I just came to a realization, like, where I live is not comfortable, and what am I going to do about it? That could be the new moon, is finding out a new place to live or just new ideas of what you can do to improve your living situation. So that's what it is for Pisces people. All right, guys. So that is it for the horoscope for this week. I hope you guys found it to be helpful. Lorna requested that I look at the chart of Denzel Washington. So I can do that just to, look at a celebrity chart. I don't see that he's really in the news himself or anything at this moment. But why not look at his chart just to see what it says about his personality? Okay, so I'm going to pull up his chart. We'll just, point some things out about him. Ooh, they have a birth time. Oh my God, I've been wondering, what is his rising? I have not looked at his chart, you guys. I only knew that he was a Capricorn and had nice Capricorn teeth. That's all I knew about him. So let me screen share Denzel Washington's chart for you guys and show you what are we looking at here. Let's pull up his asteroids, display asteroids. Let's see. Okay. All right, so first of all, let me check the source of the birth time. Astro Databank. Well, it doesn't say if they got it from a birth certificate or a biography or anything. So I don't know. This could be true. But Libra rising, that makes sense because women everywhere just swoon over Denzel. Women of all ages, of all colors, shapes, sizes, they swoon over Denzel Washington. So it makes sense because Libra risings, people are always like, "Oh my God, they're so beautiful, they're so handsome." And then he has Neptune in the first house. Now, this is, I would say, without looking at the rest of his chart, this is probably what makes him a good actor right here. Neptune in the first. Neptune is a planet of illusion and fantasy and everything. But in order to be a good actor or actress, you have to have like Pisces or Neptune or 12th house very strong in order to get into different characters, because that's what Neptune does is it makes you morph into, it's water, rules water and the oceans, and water can morph into any shape, right, that you pour it into. So for people to morph into characters, they've got to have a really good, Neptune placement or 12th or Pisces. And that's what it looks like. He has Neptune in the first. So yeah, he can really get into character. And Neptune in the first, people tend to idolize them as well because Neptune rules fantasy. Kim Kardashian also has Neptune in the first house, and look how people act towards her. I want to say Marilyn Monroe had Neptune in the first in Leo. I think she did. So yeah, she was a Leo rising, I believe. So Neptune in the first, people, they tend to become these idols that people just, it doesn't matter how much time has passed, like they are still an idol that everyone's like, oh, they're so glamorous and gorgeous, right? So let's see what else he's got going on. Now, as far as I know, I think Denzel Washington, if I'm not mistaken, he's been married for a long time to the same woman. Okay, this doesn't say anything, but I believe he's been married to the same woman for a long time. Now, Venus and Scorpio in the second house can be super loyal to a fault almost, because second house energy, it corresponds to the energy of Taurus. Taurus energy stays put for a long time. No matter what, it withstands harsh conditions. Venus is love. And Scorpio is like, it gets secure with somebody and it's like, you're mine. And they stick to that. Um, and they're afraid to go off anywhere else, And then he's got Venus conjunct Saturn. Saturn anchors Venus down. So him being a Libra rising with Neptune in the first, and then he's got a moon very close to the fifth. Using whole sign, he would be a fifth house moon. I would say Denzel, he may have, even though he's been married a long time in Capricorn energy, which he is a Sun and Mercury in Capricorn too, and then he's got Venus and Saturn, lots of Saturn and Cap energy. Even though he's a ride or die and he's been with the same woman forever, he probably has, I would say he probably has been tempted at least, or has slipped up at least some points in all his years of marriage. I'm just gonna put that out there. This Libra though, like, you know what I'm saying? But they're notorious for being very attractive, and people being very attracted to them, and not always being able to resist when people proposition them, you know? But who knows? I mean, I would say he's at least been like tempted a lot to slip up. But yeah, Venus conjunct Saturn, I'm like, oh, that's why he's been married for a long time. And then look, he's got his Sun and Mercury down here in the fourth on the IC. So that's emotion. So this is why he's able to be very emotional when playing characters in his films. And also he has Mars and Pisces. Mars is a sign of like how you assert yourself and how aggressive you are. And it's in Pisces, which is the sign of I'm a lover, not a fighter, just like Michael Jackson, you know? So this is energy that's not super aggressive. And it does help him to escape into that Neptune fantasy world of acting as well. And it's very emotional. So yeah, he's got a lot of emotional stuff in his chart to where he can get into emotional characters. Now his moon is in the fifth house. Fifth house is the stage, you know, being in the spotlight. It's very Leo like, and it's showing off and being animated and dramatic. So I would say his fifth house moon also contributes to him being an actor and being comfortable with being on stage, center stage, the center of attention. Um, but yeah, this makes him a family man. This is the house of family. His Sun and Mercury are here. So he is definitely a family oriented man, a family oriented person. And then he's got the North Node conjunct the Sun. So he definitely has an ego that probably needs to be put in check sometimes. But his mission here is the Sun. His soul's mission has to do with the Sun. So the Sun, it rules the sign of Leo. It rules being in the spotlight, entertainment, acting. So he's definitely fulfilling his soul's mission by doing the acting stuff. Um, and then Mercury here is, you know, speech and communication and stuff. And I mean, I guess you could say that's part of acting too. So yeah, that's what he's here to do, and that's what he's doing. He's doing it. What else can we say about his chart really quick? Well, he has a midheaven in Cancer. And a lot of times people have the MC in Cancer. This is your public image. So people do see him as like a very, you know, people are very fond of him as an actor. And he's got Uranus and Jupiter up here in the 10th. Let's see, what do they rule? Well, Uranus rules the 5th. Jupiter rules the 3rd. Yeah, so he's got 5th and 3rd house energy applied to his career, which means he is here to entertain, he's here to speak. And then he's got the ruler of his midheaven in the sign of the 5th house. So he's got like a double, like a 5th house energy rulership exchange between the 10th and the 5th. So that's another indicator that he should be doing something that is entertainment based and showing off his talent. So that is acting. So there you go. And he should have an unconventional career with Uranus up here in the 10th. I don't know what he did before acting, if anything, but if he was like a regular schmegular like supervisor or something, eventually he would have gotten bored with with doing that and be like, you know what, I like being a supervisor as a Capricorn. We like to boss people around and everything, you know what I'm saying? But I still feel like I should be doing something that allows me a lot more freedom to be myself and to just do me, but still be working and making money, you know? So, yeah, I mean, that's mostly what I see. That's what I see in his chart. Um, for Denzel Washington. Yeah, this is Denzel Washington's chart. So yeah, that's what I see, you guys. I mean, there's no current event for me to like look into his transits or anything. So that's what it is. I mean, I guess what we can say about like predictions and horoscope for him is there is eclipses, there are eclipses on the Cancer Capricorn axis. So maybe there could be something going on. Hopefully, nothing bad, of course, knock on wood. But maybe there could be something going on over this next year and in 2020 with maybe his personal life versus his career, maybe marriage or something. Maybe he decides to take a break from acting, like a long break. Maybe he's got like some major family stuff going on that he has to focus on, and so acting will have to like maybe take a back seat for a little bit. He could also be struggling with the work life balance with the north and south nodes here transiting, and then the eclipses transiting. It's like you're being pulled in these different directions. You're being pulled towards your career. Maybe there's some opportunities that come up, and it's like, yes, yes, I want to go after that with the north node here, especially. But then it's like, okay, well, if I do this, if I take this opportunity, my family's going to be giving me the side eye and being like, well, how come you're not around? Or we really need you, or there's some major family crisis going on here. We kind of need you around. So that's what this axis being lit up can sometimes lead to. And it's like a balance that he needs to find. And but yeah, it's not to say that it's all bad. Like I said, he could receive some higher recognition, or there could be like another breakthrough role, a life-changing role that he's going to take on over the next 2 years, with eclipses here. But he's very driven towards his career right now with the North Node transiting here. That's what you can be absolutely obsessed with. So maybe the home and family life can be suffering a little bit right now. But like I said, it's just a game of cat and mouse. You got to just catch up and make sure both sides are balanced. So yeah, that's Denzel Washington's chart, you guys. So thank you very much for rocking with me, tuning in. And I hope you guys have a good week. Happy new moon in Capricorn. I'm sorry, Capricorn. I was still thinking about uh, Denzel Washington's chart. Happy new moon in Gemini to everybody. I hope it brings you great new things. And I will see you guys next time. Don't forget that you guys can hit me up for readings on astrolada.com. I will leave the links in the description box for that too. Let me see. Hold on. I wanted to see what you guys have to say about his chart. Da, da, da. Are the midheaven and north node the same? No, they're not the same thing. Oh, thank you so much, Dimitri. Much love to you too. Okay, but yeah, I will see you guys next time. Happy new moon. Have a safe weekend. All right, peace out, everybody.